Hey guys, it is April 8th, well, it's supposed to be Wednesday, but I'm making this Thursday because I kind of didn't feel like doing it yesterday, and, okay, I liked Kelsey's idea about doing the bucket lists. However, I'm not going to do that this particular time, but I will do that next week, because I actually have a story to tell you guys. Okay, so I went home last weekend for Easter, and on Friday, my mom calls at 3:30 to tell me, it's gonna be a while before I can come and get you because the trees are on fire. And so I'm like, okay, I'll talk to you later. And so, on the way back home, when she finally came, she was telling me the story about, apparently, all around the edges of our house, one side just has a road on it, and around the other edges is just fields. And so there's a fence next to the fields, and then there's trees along that fence, and the farmers cut down the trees and all the trees on their side of the fence. So they had all these, wood piles, on all the edges of our house. So then, the farmers, hired some farmhand guy and some, kid who was just, a year or two older than us, and, told him to go burn down these piles. And so on Friday, last week, it was really hot and really dry and windy. And, at least at my house it was like that. And, they, the field had still had all, the stalks and shit from, last, season, so, there was a bunch of dry shit everywhere, and it was hot, and it was really freaking windy. And so this guy, he comes on the super tractor with, three, hay bales and, a can of gasoline. I don't even know why he had the fucking hay, but anyway. So, and he parks this, right next to one of the piles of the sticks. And so, he, douses that thing in gasoline, and then, generally, when you burn things, okay, first, you don't burn them next to other, flammable things. You would move the pile away, you wouldn't have it right next to our fucking trees. And so, obviously this guy isn't too smart, because you already heard that the trees were on fire. And so generally when you have, multiple, 5, piles, all around this fucking house, you don't burn them all at once, because you can't keep that under control. Especially, on a fucking windy day like we had. So, he fucking, douses all of the piles in gasoline, and then and then makes a gasoline trail from one to the other. So, then he just lights one match and then watches them all go up in flames. And so, my mom, she's, downstairs, in the basement with the kids, and she, generally, she's down there for hours at a time. She just happens to come up to, get a drink, and looks outside, and sees that our fucking tree is on fire. She runs out there, and starts yelling at this guy, asking what the fuck is going on. He's like, oh, don't worry about it, I have this under control. The hell you do, our fucking tree is on fire. So she, goes and calls the fire department, and, at first, they don't know how serious she is, or how, how serious it is, so they just send one guy to go see, and, we live, a fourth of a mile north of Richmond, and so, he doesn't even drive, all the way up to our house before he just turns around and comes back with, 3 different towns' fire stations, or fire departments, and so, they have, there's, at least 5 different trucks with, water and, foamy sprayer thingies and all kinds of shit. And then there's a bunch of, first responder firemen people who have just, regular pickup trucks with, these water sprayer thingies in the bed, or in, the back of the truck. And so, because, you can't drive, the giant fire trucks out in the field once they get stuck. And so, they all parked in our driveway and had their hoses, strung everywhere. And then these guys in the trucks, kept driving all the way around, spraying everything. So, they, and so, before they actually ended up getting there, though, all of our trees, 3 trees were on fire by that point, and it had started coming into the yard, and, there was, a wall of fire, because it was, on 3 sides of our house, so there's, a wall of fire around our house, and my mom's, freaking out, and, like, there's all this smoke and everything, and then, like, the babysitting kids, like, she took them outside on, like, the porch, like, furthest away so they could, like, you know, like, run across the road if it got that bad. And then also, the kids from the bus, this was all around, like, 3:30, so the kids from the bus are getting ready, like, they're gonna be dropped off, and so, like, and, so they, like, drive the bus comes, and, like, she doesn't know whether to let them off or not, and she's like, oh, just, like, and my mom had to call the parents, and, like, come and get them to, like, pick up their kids early, because there's all the smoke, and they're all asthmatic, and, oh god. And so, and then, like, there's all these, like, trucks in the road, and like, these fire trucks and stuff in the road, so they, like, the like, sheriff guy had to, like, shut down the road, and it was, like, all this big deal, and so, like, and then, you know, when all this commotion was going on with the fire trucks and shit, like, you know, nothing ever happens in our dinky little town, so, of course, when, like, when there's, like, you know, 3 fire departments involved, all of the stupid townspeople have nothing better to do than to come and, like, go and goon and look at what the fuck's going on. And for some reason, like, all the people in town used to, like, drive around their little, like, John Deere tractor lawnmower thingies, but now it's been a fad to, like, buy golf carts. I don't know why, but I guess they're just too lazy to walk around town. I don't know. But anyway, so there's, like, this caravan of fucking golf carts, like, driving up the little road to our house, and then, like, the fire trucks, like, the fire was so bad, all these fire trucks had to keep going back and forth into New Richmond to fill up their tankers and come back, and so, like, there's the stupid caravan was in the fucking way, and the fire trucks were trying to get through, and so then, like, they all had to, like, drive off into the ditch to let the fire trucks go and everything, and it was awful, and, like, they ended up, like, having to flood our yard to protect our house, while they were still trying to take, put out the fire. And then, when they were doing that, my mom looks over and notices that, there's our house, and then on one side was New Richmond, like, a fourth of a mile, and then on the other side, it was, like, a fourth of a mile down was our neighbor's house, and they are the same, like, they you know, just, like, have fields all around them, too. And so, like, so while they were, like, flooding our yard, my mom looks over and sees the fire has, like, fucking spread clear down to their fucking house, and it's nearly to the edge of their yard, about to, like, you know, go and burn down their fucking house. So she's freaking out, and, like, she's, like, yelling at them, like, go over there, don't let their house burn down either. So, this one idiot, on a fucking tractor, caused all of that. Ugh! He needs to just wear a dunce cap and staple onto his head for, like, the rest of his life. Oh, and you know that can of gasoline that he started everything with? Of course, it was, like, he put it back on the tractor, which was parked right next to, like, the original, like, burning pile, and it, like, exploded at some point, spraying gas everywhere, which just, you know, made everything worse. Okay, anyway. That was my story, so that all happened Friday in, like, a span of 2 hours, like, before my mom came and got me. So, I was lucky to go back and have a house to go back to, and now there's, like, this giant, like, black streak all through the field, and, like, it runs, like, straight towards the neighbor's field, and there's, like, a black, like, circle in our yard, and then, like, 2 of our trees, like, they're, like, 20-foot tall pine trees, so, of course, when they got lit on fire, they're pine trees, so they just, like, go like that, and so, like, they're burned, like, halfway up, like, the whole part is, like, gone, but there's just, like, this green little thing at the top, but you know they're gonna die, because it burned the trunk and everything, and then, like, a third tree, like, got burnt halfway, so we don't know if that's gonna live or not, but it looks really awkward. Okay, and I'm sorry I went over, but I figured you want to know that story. So, punish me if you must, but whatever. I haven't done the other punishment yet, so I don't know when I'll actually get to those. But, you know, hopefully eventually. Okay. Bye.
Yeah, we used to be a team, running the streets, yeah, we was living out our dream, oh. You used to be my rider, I was your provider, now we separated.